Alright, so that took a little longer than I was hoping, but that's alright. One of the advantages of using VMware with a pretty well known OS is that you actually don't have to do anything during the whole install process. Basically, after I hit go, it just eventually came and made a nice little jingle to let me know that it finished after, I don't know, 15 minutes or so. So this is the login screen. When you set up the virtual machine, you set the username and password here. So I'm going to just log in. One of the first things that I tend to do is just that I'm not a huge Linux user, so I find that I typically don't need a lot of the more graphically pleasing elements of the Unity desktop. So I usually replace that with something a little simpler. So once this comes up, that's what I'll do. Now, you just saw me trying to resize the screen, but it wasn't having much luck with that. I'm guessing that since this is the first time I've tried running this, it hasn't completely integrated all of the VMware tools yet. So those are the things that let it sort of dynamically adjust the screen size and make some of the mouse going in and out of the virtual machine a little more seamless. So let's see if I try resizing the screen here, if it actually starts. Yep, there, much better. So now it's actually adjusting the resolution in the guest OS as I resize the screen in my host OS. So I just have a little site up that lists some alternatives. So first thing I had to actually do is bring up a terminal. Alright, so I'm going to go with the minimal Ubuntu desktop. To actually sudo it. There we go. So I found that just for development, and especially when you're working in a virtual machine, having a slightly simpler, cleaner desktop can make the development process just a little easier to manage. So unfortunately, this is going to take a little bit of time. In the meantime, I'm gonna grab the Pebble tools. So the application I'm going to be working on is pretty simple. It's mostly just an exercise to get me a little experience in the system, but maybe something that I'd actually use myself just for fun as well. So technically I could be getting this either on my desktop or on the virtual machine. If you download files on your desktop, then you'll have to transfer it over. VMware offers a pretty nice way to basically share directories between the host system and the virtual machine. Specifically, it's a shared folder option. You could basically say always enable, browse to the folder that you want to be able to share on your host machine. I'll just share my desktop. And once this is all set up, you can go back to your guest system, and let's try to open a new tab here. If you look under Mount, there it is. So I can see all of my desktop files on the virtual machine. So if I wanted to download the Pebble tools on my Windows machine, I could just stick them on my desktop and grab them off there. But it doesn't much matter, so I'll just get it more directly. So here we are. Here's the sorry, I looked for the Android SDK. Now the Pebble one. Alright, here's the Pebble SDK for Linux. Yes. Have to be registered to download it. I can actually remember my password. Ah, tough one. Third tries a charm. It's a much faster download than the new desktop. Well, I'll just let that keep going in the background, and I'll keep working on getting this set up. So I've actually found that the tutorials on the Pebble site are quite good at getting somebody who has a little bit of experience up and running. So the other thing I've also noticed is that recently Pebble has added a cloud development system. I'm just going to take a quick look at that, see if it's anything particularly interesting. Let's see. At least now I know what my password is. Huh. So this is an interesting way of doing it. You can integrate your setup with GitHub, and it manages all your files right here. So let's see, if I go to main.c, it gives me sort of this nice, oh, it has IntelliSense. Now that is nice. So it's probably not actually called IntelliSense, but sort of smart completion or something. Let's just see. So if I do something like never mind. So one feature that some IDEs or code editors include is the ability to have the some key combination offer suggestions on how to complete the line of code you're typing in. It looks like there's some feature handled here, but it looks like, oh, so it does offer some suggestions. I guess I'm not sure exactly what it's using here, but that looks pretty good actually. Offers GitHub integration and gives you all the features that you would want to get started. Alright, but for now I think I'm going to keep going down the sort of more traditional path. So let's see. So I've now downloaded the SDK. That's still going. I'm going to create a directory for my Pebble tools. You can even just copy everything straight over. Maximize the virtual machine so I can actually see both windows at once. There we go. Normally you can use the middle mouse button to paste on Linux, but unfortunately this particular combination of VM and mouse, at least, is not doing it for me. So I'm going to keep using the slightly more arduous right-click paste. So let's see. So here's an interesting part of this. So typically in Linux, if I were to type something like ls or makedir that I did earlier, or cd, these have to be the operating system needs to know where these are stored. Typically, it looks in some special directories like bin. Alright, let's see. There. You can see that most of the sort of the basic Linux tools are in here. To see where the operating system looks, typically you would look in a special environmental variable called path. So here we can see that it looks